Hi everyone and welcome. Glad you're here. We're going to talk this evening about fibromyalgia. Really makes me mad. I was old enough to remember when fibromyalgia first came on the scene and they kept saying to these people, "Oh, that's all in your head." Now they've proven what it is. Too much iron, too little pyruvate, too much lactic acid, several other things, and we're going to talk about all of that this evening. We do have a volunteer, and we'll be talking to her shortly. I'm Sharry Edwards. I run the Institute of BioAcoustic Biology and Sound Health in Albany, Ohio. That's kind of in the middle of nowhere, across the state from Cincinnati. Okay. If you ever get near, please come and visit. We're in an old schoolhouse from the 1919, I believe. We love it. Some people say it's haunted, but we care about it anyway. So here we do vocal profiling and sound presentation. We stick a microphone in front of your face, give you back frequencies based on what your voice is telling us, and look for what happens. We often say to people that we are looking for data. If you get well, that's your problem. We found by looking at lots and lots of people's voices for the last 30 years or so, that people with similar traumas, illnesses, diseases, etc., have similar, if not identical, vocal anomalies. And we announced that to the world in 2004. And when we did, many other people started taking up this idea of vocal profiling as a representation of your emotions, your mood, your structure, your organs. So we are glad that the Mayo Clinic and MIT have picked all this up, among others, and it's kind of nice to see all these giants follow in our footsteps. We are sponsored this evening by the Sound Health Portal, soundhealthportal.com, where you can go to get a vocal profile. It's an online public workstation, and you can sign up at the apprentice level, and it's free, and they give you 2 softwares, Muscles and Nutrition, to work with for 30 days, and you can use this little nano voice, which tells you about your personality just anytime. So as we talk about fibromyalgia, I see that as a disturbance of your life force. And we have tone boxes, we have databases, and we have worked with fibromyalgia for many years. And so we'll be sharing that piece with you. What we do here at Sound Health is study the frequencies of the human voice, and we look at what's happening with that. We use analog sound most of the time, but to get the body to get rid of bugs like the coronavirus, you have to use digital. And we have something to share with you by way of a digital generator. So if you've looked at any of our coronavirus stuff, this digital generator will help you put the information in, and I'm going to put this in the chat for people, and you will use the binaural beat to put in 2 frequencies. Now we can also do that for fibromyalgia, and we probably should test that, whether or not those digital sounds will take away the pain of fibromyalgia. We've been doing a lot of studies on pain, because we think that it's coming down to rationing. Most of our medications are made in China, and we think there's going to be a shortage. And one of the things that one of the presidential candidates says, that if there is shortages, we should cut off the elderly people first, because they really aren't contributing. I think that's horrid. Now, we may be running out of medication, but we'll never run out of frequency, and with frequency we can take care of pain. We've also been able to show that we can provide insulin even to a type 1 diabetic, so that people don't have to do without. We have fibromyalgia databases that we're going to use tonight, but the other thing is we have bundles. So the fibromyalgia bundle is, we'd also use a database for fatigue. A lot of time, too much iron can cause fibromyalgia, allergies, toxicity, sarcopenia. Now that is just the muscles aging, and sometimes the nerves age and get inflamed and hurt. Hives, fibromyalgia, recreational drugs, immune rise, and nerve. I don't remember what the nerve one's called, just maybe nerve inflammation. So as we look at all of these as a bundle in the portal, and we are going to be using the portal exclusively this evening, although you can buy the fibromyalgia software if you want, it's much easier to use on the portal. So in the beginning, they decided that fibromyalgia was a mental disease, lazy people who imagined pain. And it took a long time and a lot of screaming at the medical community to really begin to see this as something very significant for people. It can be just a little pain when you get up and move, or it can be debilitating pain that you can't get up out of bed. So these are some of the spots that you see here where some of the fibromyalgia pain begins to gather. And we'll be talking about this as we go along. So the portal, if you look at services, it will show you several things that are active right now, and you can get an evaluation. I don't know if fibromyalgia is available right now, but if you look down below, this is not live, it's just a picture. So if you look down below, you'll be able to see if fibromyalgia is, let's see if I can go look at it. If fibromyalgia is active. Well, I can't look at it right this second. But we will do that before we finish here. We are the world center, I guess you'd call it, for vocal profiling and bioacoustic biology. Lots of people take our classes, come here to learn. We're also part of BioOhio, a nonprofit organization designed to help us get up and running really quick. And they have supported our work from the beginning. Also, we went to see the National Institute of Health in Washington, and they asked us to do a grant, and they also supported what we were doing. But one of the problems was nobody could understand what was happening. We couldn't understand why frequency was taking away pain and why the frequencies of your voice was really telling people what was going on, till we finally concluded that your brain is your central processing unit, and your brain runs on frequency and sends those frequencies out through your neural network to tweak your little finger or get rid of a pain or cause a heart attack or whatever else is going on. So the National Institute of Science put out a very clear message that they thought could be very commercial. And recently, it's come out that vocal profiling by 2023 is going to be a 2.7 billion with a billion dollar industry. And that's one of the reasons that we train people to do what we're doing. I am going to go back and look at some of these files because I don't think we want to go through all of them. MIT is using this. Mayo Clinic is using it for heart issues. MIT for soldiers. We did do a project for them in, I think, 2004. There's been books written about this. This one is saying that we are the beginning of all of this. There's whole books written about my life and what's going on. There's videos. Miracles of Non-Medicine is available on our site. You can download it. Many, many books. But at the same time, we have to say that I am not a medical person. The closest I've come is a degree in dietetics, which is totally useless because it was in the 80s when they didn't know much. But we feel like everybody should be working on this, and we as a group, because definitely there's enough sick people to go around. So this is what the software looks like if you purchase it, and you're welcome to do that. It only works on PCs, where the portal will work on any platform. There is a BioAcoustic Basics textbook that you can download, I think, from our website. The back of this is all about the portal. This is about using the actual software, but the other part of it is be working on the portal. So as we examine this idea of bioacoustics and fibromyalgia, we're going to look at the pain, the fatigue, the stiffness, and how to alleviate that with low frequency sound. Now, if you're going to do it by taking our 2-day course, that's kind of the long way around, because you're going to take a vocal print using Audacity, you're going to throw it in Abacus, and we give you all these things when you take our next 2-day course. But the portal only requires that you provide us a vocal print, and away we go. The microphones are really, really important. If you don't have the right microphone, you're looking at garbage in, garbage out. We use the little Go mic here, and we're testing some others. We just have this little meter mic that we've just tested. We like it a lot. But know that giving us information over your phone is not likely to be very helpful at all, because the microphones in the phone are averaged. They're not in real, I don't even know what to call it. They sort of squash everything together and pretend they're different notes, and it just doesn't work. We've done many people with fibromyalgia here and done studies. This is one of the most successful one. She was a realtor, and she said if we could make her well, then she was going to go skiing. And it took about 2 or 3 days for it to begin to work. And she refused to send us back our tone box. She loved it so much. Well, we had to insist. So we do have tone boxes now that we sell for fibromyalgia, depending on what kind of fibromyalgia you have. This is Valerie. She was on, I think, Channel 5 in Dayton, and we hadn't met each other. They said, "Can you do this on the news?" and I didn't know whether we could or not. But I went through with it anyway, and her fibromyalgia was a 9 out of a 10. And she said, as it reduced it to about a 4, and this was in just a few minutes, but she still couldn't walk up the stairs. Oh, and the link is gone. Let me look for the video. Fibromyalgia. I do not see it as a video. I should have checked this before. I will put the link in so you can watch it. She just talks about working at the station and that it took away her pain. Usually, I'm sorry that's not up there. Usually fibromyalgia was just a catch-all. And I want to make sure people understand that it's not a figment of your imagination. What was happening with the medical community is they just couldn't keep up. And so they threw anybody who had the same symptoms into a pot and said it was mental illness. We're finding out now that it's nutrition, it's metabolic imbalances, it can be precursors to a stroke or an injury, unrelenting stress. Many, many things go on with this. So we did a study, and the symptoms were released or relieved during this study. It is available. I will put it up on our website and put the article and also the video for anyone who wants to watch them. We tried to cut them down so they weren't so boring. They're just like trying to watch water boil. So in the beginning, when people had pain, stiffness, fatigue associated with that diagnosis, sometimes we could take it away in 2 or 3 hours. Sometimes we could take it away in 2 or 3 seconds. But we also found out something that you'll not see in any of the literature now, that if someone's histamine, which is an amino acid, is very high, they will feel more pain because the histamine accelerates these feelings and signals of pain. You can buy this at the health food store and use methionine. Now the bioavailable form of methionine is SAMe, S-A-M-E. And I've even seen that at Walmart. A lot of times there's a lack of pyruvate. You can also buy that at a health food store. And oxygen. That's a little harder to buy, but you can go buy cans of oxygen. Sometimes they make you have a doctor's certificate or prescription. But what we do is put these frequencies together, and that eliminates the pain. It's kind of a strange idea to think that frequency can do that, but that's what's happening. And it's also happening with some pain pills. We're testing pain pills for fibromyalgia to see if we can deliver those by sound. And sure enough, we can. Anywhere from 50% to 100% relief. So we're still working on that. So you can mostly buy this at the health food store. The concept that sound has the ability to relieve pain seems to be real Star Trek-y. But we've also had physicians look at this study. We've had some physicians participate in this study. We are coming to the fact that frequency can help improve people's lives. It's mobile. You can send in your vocal print. We could do it from outer space. So we created these little fibromyalgia boxes, and we're not allowed to call them that. We have to call them muscle factors. And the red one, that's for too much iron. And the muscle factors yellow, that's for too much lactic acid. It's very similar, if anybody hasn't experienced this, it's very, very similar to anyone who's exercised. Ozone therapy would be great, Petra. Kim says your link did not work. I don't know what that means. The other thing that we are trying to help people realize, because we're about 20 years ahead of our time, most of the time, takes about that long for people, normal, conventional. We have another sound for gout that works in seconds, Sophia. It's called gout out. So we can talk about that at another time. We want to convince the public that the state of your health can be found in the sound of your voice. So that's what we're trying to do by allowing people to use the portal and take a free vocal print to see what's really going on. So that's what we're going to be doing now. So if, I should ask if there are any questions. Please remind us how we can tell we have a good mic. We'll use the ones that we have suggested. If you don't, and let me see if I can find one. This is what a vocal print looks like. Let's just bring in a file. Open. That's not a WAV file. Let's go to the desktop and look at a WAV file. We want to look at all files here. Waves on desktop. I know that Bob had a bad one. Okay, Tommy, this is not showing me any files and won't let me open any file. So cancel here. How can I say new? It won't let me look at a new file either. I'm sorry, Tommy, what? Open client profile. Import WAV file. Okay, when you get a bad mic, not one of the ones we've recommended, you get this very low part just in the beginning. It's lower than any other part. Usually it's way down here. So when you look at your WAV file and it's pretty nearly all in this gray area, that's a good mic. But like I said, if you use the wrong mic, garbage in, garbage out. But use the ones we've recommended. There's a couple of others that we have. You call us about it and go from there. So as we look at the home page, and this is active, you can go to campaigns. Let's say we want to look at Parkinson's. We try to keep 5 or 6 up and running. You can read all about it, how to do it, how to send us a vocal file. And if you try to do it by your phone, you could start with Sound the Recorder. I think that's the one that you have to download the app. But at the same time, you need a good microphone. Tommy, since you're a musician, Do you want to say something about the importance of the correct microphone? You could come over here and do it. Tommy is with us today visiting. You have to get kind of close to the mic.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Yes, you're going to find that it's not going to catch. Our data relies on some of capturing the lower frequencies because of the. Well, it gets into architecture really when we think about it.
Well, when we try to look at these very low frequencies that we showed,
we wanted to pull the data that's corresponding to that, and if the mic's not accurate, or if it doesn't go down low enough, which is what we're relying on for these good prints to show up, then we're not going to get good, reliable data in that range.
This is from 0 to 1,000 cycles per second. And we can tell where the problem is coming from if we can look at these lower octaves. You can look at something like 1 cycle, 2, 4, 8, 16. They double and they're just in another octave, and that tells us a lot about what is going on. So we try to give you instructions all along, and we try to give you tutorials on how to do each of these things. But as we go back to services and look at campaigns, I need to go back one. Campaigns. It's not going to let me. Why is that? Sound Health Portal. This is the community page, and we try to keep a lot of information there about what this is, a lot of information, resources more than anything else. So if we're hitting on resources here, we should be able to go down and look at some of the other campaigns that we've had up, and if they're not real busy, they'll do one of these others for you. Products, you can also look for your microphones there. You can purchase it through Amazon, and they give you all the information about how to purchase softwares and microphones, and so I didn't know all that was on there. Let's go back a bit. But they try to give you lots and lots of information about what is going on. About us. Let's sign in. This computer I'm on is so slow because I'm on Zoom at the same time that it's not really showing you everything that you could look at. It's not showing you quickly what can be. But they have a lot of tutorial information. When you go into this and you look at all the different subscriptions, and the Portal Apprentice is free for 30 days. From there you get a subscription, and that takes you to, well, something that looks like this. Now we're going to take Robin's vocal print, but we're going to take it using Audacity, and the textbook tells you how to go ahead and look at Audacity. This is a bad one. It was recorded at 44,000 hertz, 16-bit, but it was mono. It was stereo. We want it recorded as mono, so you look at this and you know you have to start over. If you're on the portal, you can go ahead and use the recording there. But being on Zoom, or a show, I've never been able to record from there. So this tells you 30, this is timer, 30 seconds we're going to look at. Red is go and record, green is play, blue is pause, and when this comes up it's either yellow or black. depending on which version. And then we will hit the red button and record for 30 seconds. Christine says, I bought a microphone not compatible with my computer, so buying a new one in the meantime. May I call in via phone and give a good print? You will have to do that with the office. We do it here with a voice station phone, a Polycom. They're about $300, but it is a phone that's supposed to be very, very accurate. So we're going to go to Robin and open her mic. See if I answer some question here. Okay, Robin, I'm opening your mic. Can you talk?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, tell me about your fibromyalgia.
I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia about 20 years ago with a very advanced doctor who knew what it was. But since then, the fibromyalgia went to Epstein-Barr, Lyme's disease, many different things way above fibromyalgia, so that the pain is so bad that I was in a wheelchair until I started taking tramadol. The tramadol is the only thing that enables me to get up and move around.
How do you pronounce tramadol? I mean, spell it.
T-R-A.
M-A-D. We'll try tramadol. Tommy, can you look that up for me? We're looking it up right now.
Okay.
Okay, we have your. Can you all of you see this voice print in front of you? A lot of blue squiggle lines. Can you figure out the frequency for me?
Yes.
Can everybody see these squiggly lines? Am I sharing? Okay. So we do not want to save this. We want to export it as an audio file. So we're going to just say Robin S. Fibro. And I have my computer set up so it will just drop it into the waves file. I'm not going to kill this file, but just minimize it. And for this one, we're going to say we need a new file here. I'm going to set this up again because I timed out. So we're just going to say new. And now I'm going to bring this in a little closer so that everything I'm doing doesn't show. And your birthday, and you can fake it if you want.
October 5, 1950.
Female. And what state are you in?
Colorado.
This is the way we gather data. I'm not going to put your email in there. But I'm going to say thing on air for fibromyalgia. And one of the things you want to do here is go to the bottom. And I don't think we have fibromyalgia here, but we might have pain.
It's in the fourth row.
Oh, it is.
5 down.
I see it. Pain, fibromyalgia, and you said Lyme.
Correct.
So we can look at all of that. And we have to save and continue. Every one of these steps are in that textbook. And there's many things that we can do here. So I'm going to say we're bringing in a new voice file. And I'm going to browse, and well, usually it takes me right to my waves. You're going to have to circle it. Is that a 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have Robin, and that will download everything. Now, here's something that I love about the portal. And these same things you'll be able to have access to. This is all about nutrients, this is all about muscles, this is DNA, this is food. So lots and lots of references here. But one of the things when we first bring in a wave, we can hit this little green and yellow circle, because we want to know what is the real culprit here. What is causing this fibromyalgia? And this is set up in 7 circles. Aging, allergies, inflammation, nutrition, toxicity. It went through every database we had, and it made you a summary. So here's the summary. And it tells me you have some hearing loss at 14%. Carotenoids, similar to vitamin C, vertigo, little bit of unsteadiness on your feet. Thyroid, 12%. I don't see Lyme. I see inflammation. Well, this doesn't make much sense since we're looking for pain and we don't have anything pain here. We can go looking for just pain and see what is going on. Usually this will give you an indication, like hearing loss. Here, there's 9 issues about hearing. Hearing inquiry. I'm going to mute your mic while we're talking here. Let me find more hearing. Hearing loss. So I can punch these words and it'll show me you have something low. Low things are in the middle and something high. That's your issues with hearing. Homocysteine is too high, and you'd have to go look that up. Lipoic acid is too low. So what happens here is you can go look up what those things are. But that still doesn't tell us anything about your fibromyalgia. So I'm going to cancel this and say we're going to continue and look for other things, because just looking at those systems didn't tell us very much or didn't direct us to where we need to go. So if we look at BioBundles, that tells us all of the different software where the system tells us hearing or heart or whatever. This BioBundles tells us everything about what we're looking at. And we want to look at fibro. Doesn't look like it's here. Myalgia. Not here. Let's look at pain. There is a pain one. So there's trigger points. And here's fibromyalgia at 6.6. So you have a lot of trigger points. And that is, it hurts one place, but it's really coming, the signal's coming from someplace else. 9.8. That's even a better one. Notice that it's shorter, even though it's a bigger percentage, only because it's probably a smaller database. So we click on spine. This is part of the spine that is too weak. C7 in the neck, Semispinalis thorax, another muscle down the side of the spine. That is a stomach muscle, and I just hit on it to see if we could find it here, so you can look up things. Let's copy and put it here. Search, no data, but it is one of the front stomach muscles, and we'd have to look at it online or in some other database, because I guess this is just biochemicals. But what I'm trying to show is there's a lot of reference information here. When we look at spine, maybe you don't know what a semispinalis thorax is. You can look up the muscle right in the database. So it tells us that you have some stomach muscles that are not necessarily supporting the spine. These are muscles right along the spine. Looked like semispinalis is there a couple of times. And we have frequencies for the semispinalis, or longissimus thoralis, and we can give you that frequency set. We have to sort of munch around at first to see how you like the sound to be presented, but we can give you the frequencies and support those muscles, because it says the spine, which innervates everything, is part of the problem. Now let's also look at fibromyalgia. Oh, I didn't get rid of the spine stuff. And this is where we can go deeper to root cause and see what's going on. So here's the fibromyalgia. You have some low. This would be the normal line right here, where things would be okay. Still show up, but they'd be okay. So homocysteine, again, too high. In homocysteine, cysteine deals with glutathione and the immune system. Homocysteine also deals with blood clots. Corticosterone in fibromyalgia. Pyruvate, quercetin. Pyruvate again. We need to combine that with a frequency for uric acid. Cytomegalovirus, and that's high. That may be a place to start. Homocysteine again. So if you take this to your wellness provider, they can see what's low and what's high and what they should be dealing with. Now that's iron is low here, but this can show you root cause. And we can also click again and go down specifically to what's causing this. 2 pathogens, 2 minerals, 1 hormone, 2 genomes, fatty acids, 3.2% of fatty acids. Fatty acids need carnitine to work. And if that doesn't work together, it can cause stiffness and pain in the joints. Let's see what fatty acids are causing this. It says 1 must mean that it's appearing 3 times. Alpha lipoic acid, that also deals with carnitine, and alpha lipoic helps people with diabetes. But we should test you specifically for alpha lipoic acid, and you can buy it at your health food store. And it must appear 3 times because there's only 1 circle here. Let's look at what flavonoids are causing part of this. Well, that's quercetin. Quercetin is a biflavonoid that supports the immune system through the Krebs cycle. You can buy this at your health food store, or the way I get it, because I'm always low on quercetin, is I eat the inside white stuff of a grapefruit. So you're looking even further down to what's happening with this. Let's go 1 step back. Pain, spine. there's some gallbladder stress. That can cause pain, but usually in the back. So we can go looking what is happening in each of these cases. Let's look at the genes. Oops, one step too. There it is. The BRCA1 gene. That is also a breast cancer gene. I don't know why autism is showing up here when we're trying to look at pain. You can print this. I'm just going to go back one step because it looks like something is stuck. And it's not letting me go back. It just keeps popping up with the autism. Pain frequencies. So we looked at fibromyalgia and then looked at what was causing that. I wanted to look at these two genes. So we can click the one high and one low gene. Ferritin, mitochondrial, pyruvate. Pyruvate, if you just hold a second, I'll show you where pyruvate is an issue, and ferritin. So something about iron and the mitochondrial levels. It gets deeper here. I want to ask to make an evaluation and a new evaluation. We're going to actually look at your vocal print, and you see these scallops. I think there's something that you're allergic to, or maybe some kind of inflammation that's coming from a toxin, because when you see these scallops, it means you're poisoned usually. So as we look at this, +1, okay, +2, that's a little more of a problem, and +3, which is urgent, and you don't have something quite up to that line. But we're going to do fibromyalgia. Well, it disappeared on me. This is -1, so you don't have a lot that is low, but we can look at it. And when you join the apprentice, you get that nutrition program that you can look at nutrition every day, what's low and what's high. So we could pull your points, which means pull the points outside this anomalous or coherent area, which we call these anomalies. They're outside this gray coherence. So we could do it by active template, but let's do it by current right now, just to see what happens. We want to pull anything high, low, or open. See how open this part is, around 620 something? That's something we'd want to look at. This is open. Open means it's active. So we're going to choose that if it lets us. Click. And do I want to choose anything else? That's kind of open. And then update the GNS. So these are all the issues if we just took something current. Now, if we want to just pull things that are that one active template, you can do that. Since we're going to be using 3 things, Lyme, pain, and fibro, then we can look at the active template, but we really need to look at a combination of templates. So let's just look at the fibromyalgia first. It took that one. That one's kind of open. That one's kind of open. So we can update the GNS. But what we're going to see here, those points are not the points of just the fibromyalgia database. Because when we pull points, just the active template, and there isn't one at this point, I'm going to go in here and choose a template, and then it will only pull the frequencies dealing with that particular template. So it already tells us that as we look at this, or it's just showing us which ones. So fibromyalgia, but we can look at all the templates at once if we have time. So now it's telling us there's some interrelationship between some points here, these low ones, and these points that are high. They are akin to each other. Are you in a house where there's mold? Robin, I'll have to unmute you. Are you in a house with mold?
I don't think so, but I'm definitely allergic to cheese and mold.
Well, there's some indicators of that on your chart. Right here. And somebody's asking, I don't see what you mean by something being open. Okay, right here. A lot of ups and downs in an open space. A lot of ups and downs, open space. The more open something is, the more active it is. Does the portal also contain treatments? It contains frequencies that if you're trained, you can use as a treatment, but we're not allowed to say that. We're just allowed to say, well, try this and see what happens. We can't diagnose, we can't cure, we can't give you a recommendation. We just provide you with what your voice says, and then you examine that or take it to your wellness provider or your health food store or whatever. Will recording through Zoom with a mic also be a collapsed file? I don't know if that's what you'd call it. It doesn't work mechanically when I'm online with a class. So these are all frequencies that the computer chose. It's all +2s. And we're going to say save and continue. Well, we're supposed to be able to say save and continue. There it goes. So now it's giving us priorities. It's saying your zinc is very low. And this yellow means that's your number one problem. Now, if this was 26, 25, I'd consider it alike. But this is your first priority. This is your second priority. And these all showed to be twice. And they're the note of C. And it's also, note of C is your medication. But if we were to give you zinc for a couple days and come back and have you talk about the same thing, maybe this zinc will come up. Now, zinc, it helps you make insulin. It helps the body clear up rashes. It supports the immune system. Fibromyalgia clients are often found to have low levels. What's a good source of zinc? Peanuts is a good source of zinc. I can't think of anything else right now. It helps, oh look, it helps with homocysteine. But because these are a little way away, 4 points, I wouldn't consider them together except you got low here. This is the lowest note on your chart. Now, what the heck is indole 3-carbinol? If it's underlined, you can grab it and it'll take you to a reference for it. It's produced by the breakdown of glucosinolates, can't even pronounce that, found to be relatively high levels of cruciferous vegetables. The broccoli core, cabbage cores, cauliflower, all that is cruciferous. But that also interferes with thyroid. And remember, thyroid was one of your things that came up. What does this stuff do? Investigation mechanism by what consumption of indole 3-carbinol might influence cancer incidence. An ability to alter estrogen metabolism. Oh, prolific arrest and apoptosis, cell killers. So this would be good for melanoma, it looks like. But it's your lowest low. Now you might want to go back and eat some of those foods. Here's aspartame, that artificial sweetener that everybody says is so bad. It's because it's the same frequency as glycine. And glycine is what helps the body move the trash out of the muscle into the capillaries to get it out of the system. COMT, now coenzyme Q10. If we go up and look at your Krebs cycle, and the Krebs cycle and the mapping methylation is one of the first two things we look at with people. The map's coming up. This is Amy Yasko's map. And the glycine is right here. Trimethyl and dimethylglycine. Now you can buy dimethylglycine. And some of the other things were in your Krebs cycle. The COMT is under there. Let's see if I can get it out. There it is. It helps the body utilize the energy and biochemistry that keeps everything moving in the system. It's been dropped into the system. So this is the Krebs cycle. It causes you to burn in the cell and the cell to give off energy. And you had some issues here with this CoQ10. What else was in here? And then the comp. This is in Amy Yasko's book. Tommy, can you put that in chat for me? I can't grab it here. Real simple little book, not very big at all. But this is one of the things you want to run yourself through when you're on the portal. This is how the body detoxifies. And when you have aspartame in the system and it can't use glycine, it messes up nitric oxide synthase. And that's the wall between the organ, the muscle or whatever, and the capillaries. That pulls the stuff into the detox cycle, into the trash. So when you have that glycine stress, it shows you really need nitric oxide synthase. Now, one of the reasons you can tell that you need nitric oxide if you choke or snore at night, nitric oxide synthase keeps your throat muscles in turgor, keeps them tight, so that the carbon dioxide can come back up through and out, that exchange of gases coming out through your respiratory system. This is your energy cycle as it's being used biochemically. This is your RNA and DNA. And these two cycles, methionine and glutathione, is how you're using your incoming resources. And we have a template with little red circles on it so you can see which one of these is most out of balance. Because if you're gaining weight, if you've got pain, if you're not feeling right, your balance is off, something is wrong with this map. So what we want to concentrate on is getting zinc back into the system, getting these things back into the system, but its aspartame is low and you don't care. It's the same frequency as glutamate. So bioacoustically speaking, everything is something else. The frequencies use many different ways. What goes with CoQ10? CoQ10. Let's go back to that map. Here's CoQ10 is involved in this cycle of energy, mitochondrial energy. Pyruvate is one of the things you had in stress. And that comes down here and mixes with B5, vitamins and minerals, and it starts the flicker, the flame that ignites the energy inside the cell. Coenzyme Q10 gets waylaid when you're taking any kind of statin, but it's really supportive of the muscles. Vitamin E is high. That's one of the things with your hearing. We might need to balance that. Pyruvate, there's the pyruvate dehydrogenase. And this mitochondrial DNA, all high. We need to balance that out. You'll have to do some sleuthing on your own to look at for this. And there's your lime. So as we look down through here, you probably don't need to look any further than the colored relevance, because if you take care of the worst of the worst, the body will fall into order and take care of itself. And I know we're running late, but I want to add lime and pain to your fibromyalgia. We can also look at what comes up as high hits: fibromyalgia, pain medication, muscle pain, lingering Lyme, pain receptors. We probably don't need to look at these because they don't have very many indicators. Trigger points, 20. We don't have time to talk about trigger points. Pain medication, 38. This would tell us what be the best pain medication. We can also just click on the hits, and you can see which ones. Let me get rid of that. You can see which databases your body is looking through. $370 in NSYNC. That is about digestion and metabolism. So is this one, but this is more toward pollutants. Superbrain, 149, maintenance and repair. So if you didn't know what was going on, you could just click those first 5 and it'll give you a lot of answers. So as we look at this one, we should be able to see fibromyalgia, lingering lines, and pain. It didn't show the pain. I want that. Pain, Lyme, fibro. You can choose up to 10 different things here. Fibromyalgia, lingering Lymes, pain receptors, pain meds. Well, I'll just do these two because we don't have time to get into it, but shows the relationships. And now you're going to see a lot more turquoise come. Well, not a lot, just a whole bunch there and here. But this shows you how those two templates work together. So we go to frequency hits. It's still zinc, but we have fibromyalgia and Lyme. We don't have any Lyme as a number one priority. There's no Lyme in the yellow section, so it's not a first priority. The fibromyalgia is the first priority. So you can see where to go with all of this. Now, I don't pay much attention to anything below the color. We fix the colored sections. Green, yellow, pink is, well, they change these around again, the colors. So just using those colors to look at. You can look at CoQ10, and we send you a green sheet. You can go see what CoQ10 interferes with. It's high. Either you're taking it or it's not working right in the body. What does it take to make this work? In humans, CoQ10, ubiquinone, deficiency and toxicity. You have too much. Yeah, statin myopathy. Statin really kills the ability of CoQ10 to even operate. There's a lot more here to show you. You can look at all of your clients together and look at some of their templates. You can look at GNS files and look at the guidelines here. That you have no A sharp and B. That's immune system with the A sharp, but you have a lot of A. Those two are very unbalanced. So the immune system is unbalanced here. So is D sharp and E. So being able to use oxygenation in the body is in stress here. And when you take our classes, we go all into this. We look at all of these frequencies and what's going on. Let's do it by note and see what note's in the most stress. D sharp, you have a 3, 4. G, you have, your most note that you have in stress is G sharp. And that disperses minerals throughout the body. Oh, and there's 4 A's too. That the note of A makes the decision about who gets what. If you need zinc to make insulin, then yours is low. Maybe you don't get zinc to heal a cut. So the A makes all the decisions about who gets what. That's what we do in our classes. We have a 2-day free class for people who want to just dip their toe in the water and get started. Do you have any questions, Robin, about what we said?
I'm confused as to some of the things you pointed out, like the zinc. I'm confused as to how do you know my zinc's low, and how do you know my CoQ10 is too high?
By the frequencies of your voice and where it is placed on this grid. Zinc is probably one of these down here, really low. So go look up online the foods that have zinc and eat those foods. Sesame seeds has a lot of zinc.
Okay, I have diverticulitis, so I have to be really careful with nuts and seeds.
Well, let's just go look at zinc and let's see where you get it.
Put some food sources in the chat.
Oh, Tommy said he already put food sources.
Someone else did too.
That's good. You guys are great. 31 new messages I didn't answer. Oh, good grief.
Can you print off the chat? Is there a
You,
way to print the chat?
yeah, go inside and click and do Control A, and it'll turn everything blue. And then do Control C, and you can take that over to a piece of paper in Word and just say Control V, and it'll paste it in there, and you'll have it.
Control A, A like apple.
Okay, you see the chat? I'm going to do Control A. See it turn blue?
No.
I may not see that. I don't see it.
Maybe you guys don't see it. How about you send me your email and I'll send you a copy of the chat?
Oh, great. Thank you.
That would work. What have I not? Kim sees it in blue. Renee says, no, we can't see the blue.
She must have highlighted, Kim must have highlighted hers.
I don't know how to get to all of these questions. It won't let me pull them down. What version of the portal is that? My version is the professional version. You guys will, as apprentices and technicians, will have less options than I have. Okay, we looked up the tramadol, and it is note of C. So is zinc. Tramadol, a synthetic codeine analog. Perhaps her voice pattern is a little different. ATM thanks to currently being on tramadol. That could be. And Jim says this is a good pyruvate supplement.
I was asking is.
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I use good grief, now it's gone. Life extension stuff. Well, you obviously have had a bad experience with tramadol. We are working toward getting people off of medications and using sound. I see, in looking at what's happening in China, that they're going to ration medications. And one of the things, maybe I said this already, Bloomberg said the only way we're going to make it through is to ration medications for elderly people. And it says that in Obamacare, after I think 74, they can ration your medication if need be. In humans, aerobatic conditions produce pyruvate. Yes, but sometimes they get stuck and can't do much because nothing's moving through the cells because of that lack of nitric oxide. That was a question from Renee. Renee is a great resource, and she says, in humans, aerobic conditions produce pyruvate, and anaerobic conditions produce lactate. In aerobic conditions, the process converts one molecule of glucose into 2 molecules of pyruvate, generating energy in the form of 2 net molecules of ATP. And ATP you can buy at your health food store. A lot of times when this goes down, you have fatigue, the body gets slow. So Charlene, another practitioner, homocysteine is a common amino acid in your blood. You get it mostly from eating meat. High levels of it are linked to early development of heart disease. In fact, a high level of homocysteine is at risk for heart disease. It's associated with low levels of vitamin B6, B12, and folate. That's also some of the things needed to make glutathione that helps the body's immune system. An average red apple contains approximately 450 milligrams of what, Renee? I could open your... I opened your mic, Renee, so...
Okay, that is, if you read the rest of the sentence, it's of pyruvate.
Okay.
So apples, cheese. Of course, if she has trouble with mold, she can't take the cheese or it also molds with the beer and the red wine. So maybe an apple.
Okay. Some people have your hand up. I will try to get to you soon. Homocysteine common meal in your blood. Okay. Tommy says, although it's certainly not where all of the nutrients are, the pith can be good for you. It's high in fiber. You were talking about the grapefruit? Okay. Pith also contains flavonoids, including hesperidin, which may help blood vessels function better. That would be good for restless legs. Also magnesium. This could have beneficial effects on weight management, metabolic syndrome, risk factors for stroke, type 2 diabetes, heart disease. Kristen, I understand you've been doing this for many years and actually the inventor. I have signed on to study this with you, and I've been reading and looking into all of this. But I am getting so lost. I do go quick because we're only supposed to have an hour together, and we're 15 minutes over that hour, and some people object to that. If you are lost, we have 500 Vimeos or so, and we also have tutorials that you can take one at a time and just catch up on what's going on. And if you will send me your email and what you want me to send, in your case would be the tutorials and Vimeo addresses, then I will send that to you. Thank you, Charlene. Jim M. I keep losing my place here. Which form of supplemental zinc is best? I don't know. Maybe you have to read online, and when you find out, let us know. And there is Sharry, maybe? Sharry. Put in a link for zinc. Peanuts also can have, absolutely can have high mold. Food source zinc, Tommy, meat. I would think that seafood and kelp would have zinc in it. I don't know. I'm just.
Oysters, shellfish.
They do? So I would think that maybe seafood, sea kelp would too. Thank you, Tommy. That is a good list. For those of you who can't see the chat, he says good sources are zinc, legumes, chickpeas, lentils, beans, seeds, nut, dairy, eggs, whole. If you go up to the top where it says sharing and go to more, I think you can open the chat and look at it. Common symptom of zinc deficiency is altered loss of taste and smell. Absolutely. Petra says non-dairy sources are better because they don't cause the inflammatory response. There's a new kind of milk come out in our area, and it's from some special cows in France or something. It tastes a lot better than regular milk. It's like milk 2 or something. And it doesn't, for me, it doesn't cause that inflammatory reaction. Tommy says, Feel Good Nutrigenomics, your roadmap to health. Dr. Amy Yasko. Yes, that's where we're looking up that map. Zinc lactate is the most absorbable from total body rest. Kim says, sauna and hot bath can increase your human growth hormone. Didn't know that. Tommy gives us some more Yasko links. That's good.
To the book.
When is the next 2-day? I'd have to look on the calendar. Go to Sound Health Options and look at the schedule. It'll give it to you. We have a 5-day coming up, I think, in the end of this month, but you have to take the 2-day first. If you go to the portal and take the tutorials for the 2-day, you can do all this on your own. So we give you a book, we do it live, we do it in video, we do it in the tutorials to try to keep you updated. We have classes every week to update things. If you take the master's course, and we just finished the catalog today, I just inspected the last part of it. If you take the tutorial class, they give you all the other classes for free. Go online to the portal and you can see all the different, there's apprentice, free, tutorial, $300 or so, and you get your equipment, biomarkers, and access to all of that. I don't remember. A 5-day, I think, is $5,600 with all the equipment, and the masters with all the frequencies and databases is $8,000. But you can take all of that at once by just by doing the masters. Tommy says the next 2 days is March 19th and 20th. Thank you, Tommy. I've tried everything to get off of tramadol. When I find something that works, it will be very noticed by many people. We will look at the frequency and tell you what else it is and see what we can do. We can send you a booklet that tells you how to send us an appropriate vocal print. So anybody who wants that, just Sharry Edwards, Sharry with an A, at Gmail, and I will send it to you. Yes, my question as well, next 2 day, okay. March, what, Tommy?
1920.
19th and 20th. Wonder if you would consider doing a 2-day on a weekend. I'm starting a new job and will not be able to take a weekday 2-day class. Well, Tommy's one of the trainers. Do you want to answer that?
Oh, one of the educators? Well, I can talk to the rest of the crew and see. We could probably do it like on a, well, it'd have to be a, I don't know about Sundays.
Yeah, because we have extra
that would
classes at Sundays.
Yeah.
But we can have as many as 20 classes going on at once on Zoom.
Okay, well,
Or maybe do it over 2 weekends, on 2 Saturdays or something. We do most of the master's classes on Saturday, and the 2-hour individual session with me through the master's class, we just do it whenever you're available. Sometimes in the middle of the night when people are in New Zealand and everyone else. So, Jen, crew, that's a good idea. Mary says, with all foods, remember desired minerals only in the food that had the desired mineral in the soil it was grown in, or in the case of animals, it has been in what the animal ate. Good point, Mary, Tommy says. People are 80% deficient in magnesium, especially diabetics. And people with restless legs, or legs that feel heavy. There's a really nice book out, The Many Functions of Magnesium. I take magnesium in a fizz before I go to bed, or my legs are jumpy. But if you run people through the vascular database, it'll tell you why those nerves are jumpy and jittery. If you read Medical Medium about zinc, he will tell you, and there is, no, that wasn't a complete sentence, okay. Body rest. Modern day farming is devoid minerals, so organic always. Yes, that's been proven. He will tell you the best kind of zinc. Somebody called Medical Medium. So if somebody wants that address, you could put it in the chat for them. Well, Tommy came here to work, and he's been working night and day. A2 protein milk. Thank you, Jim. Best zinc whole food supplement, standard process. Standard process doesn't sell to just anybody. Most of it's through chiropractic. Go online, look at maybe Amazon and get some readings back. Life Extension is the stuff I use, and I really like Mike Adams' stuff because he's proved all of it. But there's an oddball thing. When we started talking about coronavirus, he had quercetin and glutathione on his site. Now he's taken off glutathione. He did it right around Valentine's Day. So I don't know what is going on with that. What is the portal address? soundhealthportal.com. And Robin is saying, the person that said if soil is bad, food isn't high in nutrition, I get to the health food store and muscle test to see which zinc to use. Thanks, Tommy, and thanks, Sherry. Gotta go. Goodbye, Total Body Reset. Yes, weekends would be awesome, says Jim. Kristen says, something makes me think that the frequency of pizza is not good, and it's my favorite food. Well, Tommy's too. He just had some. I think it depends what's on it. I know if I crave tomato juice or anything tomato, I need vitamin D, and I think that's why I crave pizza, because I can go take some vitamin D, and then I don't have the craving anymore. So I know what I need by what I crave. Another link to zinc, that's good. Oh, 26 new messages. AllDiverseHealthers.com sells standard process online. Oh, that's good to know. Can you ask Robin if she can smell and taste well? Robin, you want to answer that? Have you lost your sense of smell or taste? Your sense of taste most of the time is smell. And that's the last question. Let me check chat. Okay, Robin, I'm going to unmute you. Do you have any decrease in your sense of smell or taste?
Just recently I developed pneumonia, so I don't want to eat and don't want to smell anything. And it's interesting because I've been craving oranges and apples and
Biflavonoids, okay. Somebody wants to know if you eat aspartame. I can answer for her, not unless it's accidentally or she has to, or at least that's what your voice says. Now you answer it.
I don't eat anything that's poison.
And aspartame is poison.
Correct. So where am I getting it?
It's in like 2,500 foods.
I check labels. I'm very careful not to eat it because I have brain fog, so I don't do anything that has brain fog.
Well, it's made from phenylalanine, so you might want to check that. Renee, your hand is up. Did you want to say something? Renee, are you there? She says yes. Are you unmuted? Can you unmute yours? I hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute myself earlier, but I guess you had to do it on your end.
No.
So I wanted to, ask if she could smell and taste, because that's the first sign of low zinc. And then also, I wanted to ask, she was high in pyruvate on her voice print. So does that mean she's not utilizing it well?
It could be she's going to have to do some sleuthing and find out how to use it. But on her print, she had a couple things of zinc that were an issue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, zinc was low, but pyruvate was high.
Well, she had a couple pyruvates, didn't she? P-Y-R-U-V. R-U-T-R-U-V. This one's low, this one's high. So we just have to do some tone trials and see what's going on. This one is low. Maybe somebody can do some testing with her with different kinds of pyruvate. Or maybe there's a whole brain pyruvate. Okay, Renee, are you open to consult with the people who have some of these issues? Well, she says she's muted again. Okay, try now.
Okay, yeah, it just keeps, is that a Zoom thing that we can't get around? I thought once my microphone had been opened, I could control it, but I can't.
Well, I thought so too.
Okay.
So-
So anyway, I was just kind of muscle testing her when I was hearing her voice, and she could use some liver, like calf liver or even chicken livers. That's Tommy was right. The meat is what's really high in zinc, and we often give people, like, the standard process supplement, the zinc liver chelate, is basically liver. But if she can find some organic calf liver or even chicken livers at Whole Foods or somewhere, that could get her a good head start.
Okay, great. Are you open to putting in your email and consulting with people?
Oh yeah, am I muted or?
I hear you.
Okay, yeah, I can put my email in there, sure.
Okay. Okay, Kristen says she craves vinegar. Usually that's a pH thing, isn't it? When you crave vinegar? Bragg's vinegar is wonderful stuff. B-R-A-G-G-S. Standard process. If people are vegetarian, that's also a good option. Oh, that's from Sharry. Okay, that's all the questions. We will have this edited and up and running by tomorrow, I hope, so you can watch it again and see what's happening. Also, I will put the links up for tutorials, so you can go through those and get more information. We have about 5 or 6 programs on fibromyalgia, and we hope you go to the portal and join, see what's going on. We want everybody to have this ability to do their own stuff, because I think what's going on right now in healthcare is absolute tyranny. They're not allowing us to make our own decisions. We just had a decision come down from our insurance a couple of days ago. We pay an extra insurance premium, and it's taken out of my husband's bank account, and then we have Social Security, which they forced us on by threatening us, and they take money out of there for insurance. So now what is happening is they've got together and decided that even though we're paying 2 premiums, we only get 1 payout. And I recently went to the doctor just to have some things confirmed, and they charged me $268, and I ended up paying $170 of it, even though we have 2 insurance companies. That's tyranny. That's really taking advantage of people. You pay 2 premiums, but you only get 1 payout. So we need to take a stand, and the only way they're going to listen to us is if we have an alternative. If we can go to them and get a pill, or we can also use frequency. We are their competition, and the stronger we are, the more of us there are, the better off their prices are going to become, because we don't need them anymore.